now at that unwelcome arrival of the dozens of foreigners who traveled to the United States this past weekend, or tried to. The Trump administration says 109 people were detained at several airports after the president's travel ban went into effect, but hundreds of thousands were admitted. A couple from Syria found themselves held for more than 8 hours in Orlando. They were detained despite having visas in hand to visit their son, who is a U.S. citizen living in Florida. They do not speak English, but their son Elias Hababi does, and he joins me now along with immigration attorney Nayef Mubarak. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me. Ellie, let me start with you. Or do you go by Eli or Elias? What do you go by?
Eli or Elias. My, more nickname as Eli.
Eli, tell us about what your parents went through once they landed in Orlando.
It was miserable. They went through a lot. I mean, they got to the airport at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they were just put on the side with another girl. She was from Iran, and they were just not explained what's going on, and they were trying to talk to them. There was no translator to translate at the moment. And I think there was a guy that working in Orlando Airport. His name is Hisham, as my parents told me. He's from Tunis. He was not speaking too much of Arabic as well, but he was a little bit help until another Emirates worker came by, and she was Iraqian, and she was able to translate more
As
of the language.
As people kind of passed, people offered their assistance to translate for Eli's parents to communicate with the CBP agents.
How long were they detained?
They were there for 8 hours, 10 o'clock in the
hours.
morning until 6:30. Yeah.
Now, I'm told that, Eli, I'm told that you said that you were once a supporter of President Trump. Are you still?
Oh, well, at the second, I don't know what to answer. I mean, some things he said and he promised with, I was with, like the healthcare programs, the new ones, and protecting the country, which is all we're looking forward for, making everyone feel more, secure and more safe. We were all looking forward for that, I mean, what he's trying to do, it could be right, it could be wrong. They know more than what we do, but not in that way. Not in that way at all. I mean, a lot of people getting affected, a lot of people losing their lives. I mean, people need to come to United States, to change their life, not just to come and visit or come and look and go,
Yeah, Eli's mentioned he supported the president for his business mind. And as a businessman himself, he had similar views. I don't think he was expecting his family to be affected by this executive order that the president signed on Friday.
Eli, were your parents ever asked about their religious background? My understanding is that you and your parents are Catholic.
Yeah, we are. They were not asked at the airport at all, and the worker was really nice. They weren't able to talk to me. They weren't able to use the phone. They weren't able to speak to nobody. My mom tried, to tell them, let me talk to my son just to let him know where we at, to talk to him, see what's going on, and they were like, we're not allowed to let you use the phone at all. They were held. They were just there, sitting, and they didn't know what's going on. They asked, and they didn't tell them, like, we don't have a permission. We don't know if you guys going to come in or going to go back. We're just waiting on Washington to send us back.
And Nayef, as you represent clients like Elias, what's next? Can you fight this in court? What can be done?
Well, we took a lesson from what happened in New York City and Massachusetts over the weekend. We were getting ready to file a habeas, if necessary, a motion to allow the release of his parents because they have lawful permission to be here. But we're going to continue to fight, us and other immigration attorneys, this executive order by filing and hopefully adding to the motions for stay and the court orders, putting a hold on this executive order until more instruction is given to the agents and to attorneys and international travelers to have more of an idea of what to expect and who's actually affected, which I believe many also agree with me that the executive order has created great confusion across the country on both sides of the aisle.
And Elias, President Trump is suspending the Syrian refugee program indefinitely. As a Syrian American, your parents live in Syria. What do you make of that?
I mean, a lot of people over there need a new life. You can't just you can't just hold on everyone and suspend everyone. There's a good people as just there's bad people. You can't just judge a whole country just of what you see on the news or what of you hear. there's a good Muslim, there's good Christian, there's bad Muslim, and there's bad Christian. You can't judge everyone as one person or as a group of people. It's bad over there, you know, no power for days. You don't get to have water in some space. Some places it's really hard to get food. Some places there's no safe. Everybody just is stealing from everybody. I mean, it's really bad. You could tell from the news. But again, you can't, I mean, what he did, it could be right, it could be wrong again, but not in that way. You can, a lot of people has visas, like my parents had their visa 2 months ago. When that order came out, they were in Beirut. They were on the fly, and a lot of people, I'm sure not just my parents, were on the flight on their way to America when that order came in. You can't just hold all these people not knowing what they can do. I mean, my parents were 8 hours in the airport without food, without water, without, I mean, my dad had to fight with a policeman even though he didn't try to. He was like arguing with him, like, I need to smoke. I can't go 20 hours straight without a cigarette, and am I being arrested? And he's like, no, you're not being arrested. Well, why can't I use my phone? Why can't I call my son? Why can't I smoke? Why can't I go out?
Right. The big frustration was for Ilyas and his family was the unknown and not being informed as to what's happening. The agents were polite. They did offer the family if they wanted food, but due to, I'm guessing, security and communications issues, the family did go without eating. But for the most part, the agents were polite. But it was just not knowing and not being able to contact Ilyas after that long travel was very frustrating for everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. I hope your parents enjoy the rest of their time in Florida. Thanks so much.